behind you quicker. But every week you learn from the good stuff, you learn from the bad stuff, and win or lose, you try to take it with you into the next week. And this one's no different. Obviously, it didn't go our way in a variety of ways, but got to learn from it and move forward and get ready to play a good Broncos team.
Watch the tape. What's maybe the one positive that jumped out to you, and maybe what's one thing you guys really want to focus on or emphasize this week of cleaning up?
Yeah, the first half execution, aside from a penalty here or there, and was really good. Certainly those last two drives and the way we finished off the first half with the touchdown and kind of ran that clock down to the bottom. I thought that was really well done by us and the coaches of the management of that. And then the second half was just not even close to good enough and execution. And I wish there was one thing I could say if we clean this up, it would be different. But it was a million things. It was myself, everyone would had a hand in it, and has to be a lot better.
We just didn't get an explanation, so I'm just curious what happened at the end of the first quarter with the clock. Did you think the play clock was out of the game clock?
It's somewhat subjective. It was very close.
Yeah.
And we've had a game previously this year where it was, I think, about the same thing. And they gave us the quarter. They didn't give us the delay game. And I think when they're within a second of each other is what they try to do. And they deemed that one not within a second. So somewhat subjective there, but the call they thought they had to make.
What do you think been the biggest thing with this team since the bye? I mean, we look at the numbers before and after the bye.
Yeah.
Do you see something different, happening? How can you guys clean it up from what's changed post-bye?
Yeah, I don't know what the numbers are. I know we scored 40 against the Chargers and played pretty well against the Saints, and then the other three just didn't do our thing quite the same way offensively. And I wish there was one thing you put your finger on, but there's not. It's just plain execution and doing what we're supposed to do, and starts with me and leading that charge and getting us back on track.
Back to the second half or third quarter struggles, maybe a little bit coming out of the locker room. I know Dane talked about that the other day too. Like, you guys have tried a myriad of different things, to try to get going. Been able to pinpoint why? Maybe it's not.
I wish. Yeah, it's frustrating as much as it is for everyone else. It's very frustrating for us, and we're very aware of it, and we know we have to continue to be aware of it and continue to try to find ways to be more productive in the third quarter. And it's everybody, man. And I wish there was one thing that, again, that you could point to as the reason why, or one thing that fixes it. And but there isn't. It's just plain execution. It's plain focus. It's plain doing our jobs a little bit more consistently in that quarter.
And these games so often just come down to a couple plays. When you take a step back and look at that play, as bad as maybe some of the things were, is it really about like that sequence, end of the third quarter, beginning of the fourth, where like they hit you on one, the fumble, like all of a sudden that's where the
the snap exchange hurt us in our own territory, and then they get the touchdown there to follow that up. And it's points off turnovers, and something that we preach that we want to do, and we force turnovers to score points, and typically that helps you win the game. And we were on the wrong side of that.
Uncharacteristic numbers for Saint the last 2 weeks. The Saints, kind of did that delivery, tried to take him out.
Yeah.
What was it mostly Chicago, and how much do you guys have to kind of get back to be on the same page there? He's such a big key to what you guys do offensively. How much does he got to get going in Denver?
Yeah, you'd love to get him going. I think he's doing a great job. He's been very accountable of things that he feels like he can do better, and then for me as well, I'm very much talking to him about ways that I want to try to do better for him and get him the ball in certain ways a little bit better than we have in the last couple of weeks. But he's one of the best guys I've ever been around, and have no doubts that he's going to be just fine, and we'll finish this season off pretty well.
Their defense is doing him, if anything, of late.
Well, the Saints game, they doubled him. They paid a little bit more attention to him in this game. I don't believe they quite doubled him. But yeah, it's what good players get. Good players get doubles often, and he's gotten that at times this year. And sometimes he's able to beat the double, and it doesn't really matter. But trying to get him the ball in different ways.
I'm curious about just emotional waves, and maybe it's on my mind more because fans ride them at a much higher degree, obviously, and it's certainly going a different direction this week. I'm curious, you guys can't do that, right? Your coach talks about that all the time, like stay level.
We'd have no chance if we
bounce back. But like, when did you
like that?
When did you, I guess, learn to do that? Because I guess it's human nature, right, to take a loss really, really hard. So when did you learn, I guess, to not let a loss beat you twice, I guess?
Yeah, I think kind of what I spoke about on the first question is like you treat them all the same, the wins and losses. We've been fortunate enough to win 9 out of 13 at this point, so been able to learn from wins a little bit more often than losses. But you treat them the same. You learn from them, and you get better. And it's a long season. There's a 17-game season, and each game counts the same. And so if you put more weight on one than the other, then you end up, beating yourself twice, like you said at times. So you treat them all the same. You learn from it. You get better, and you improve. And at the end of the season, you count them all up and see who continues to go.
As a team captain and the leader of this team, do you say that out loud? How do you go about kind of creating that mentality and just making sure everybody's good, checking in with guys and?
Yeah, you just try to be consistent. Just try to be the same every day, whether it goes your way or it doesn't. The week before, be the same. Be the same guy. Don't ride the roller coaster. Don't ride the emotions, and know that they can look to me as a guy that's going to be steady. And at the same time, when the urgency needs to be there and the intensity needs to be there, it needs to be there from me, and it needs to be there from a lot of guys. And I'm aware of that as well.
Jared, how about Denver's defense? Surtain, obviously really good, and they force a ton of turnovers. What do they do? What do you see on tape from them if they do so well?
Yeah, really good scheme. Obviously, Surtain's a great player, but they got a lot of good players over there. Do some variety of pressures, and like you said, try to create turnovers, and that'll be our challenge this week, is making sure we're taking care of the ball and giving us the best chance to win.
How valuable an asset is it to have two running backs who are not the same style, but almost interchangeable with the production you can get out of them?
Yeah, they're both really good. It's fun to have them, and I think as well as they both run the ball, they both can catch the ball as well out of the backfield, and have been a good tandem for us this year, and have certainly ran the ball well in the last handful of weeks, and need to keep getting them the ball.
Yeah, certain. Simmons, I think.
So what?
Simmons
Yep.
in that back end. I think maybe the most interceptions of the last 5 years, multiple interceptions every year. Like, is he kind of like the first play you're trying to identify on most pass plays?
Yeah, he's got great instincts. I think you always know where those type of guys are. He's a ball hawk in the back end, and does a great job with his eyes, understanding route concepts, understanding what I'm trying to do. And so yeah, there will be somewhat of a chess match with him of where he's going to be and how I want to try to play and make certain plays depending on what he's doing. So yeah, there will be a little bit of that, but it's a good defense all around, and he is a good part of it.
Saturday night games feel like Pac-10 all over again?
Yeah, it's Pac-12 after dark. Yeah, it'll be fun in front of our home fans. I said this earlier on the radio, but getting in front of them, feeling their passion, their energy is going to be so important for us, and we're excited